Today I'm going to demonstrate for you how you pour an ion exchange column, which you will use this technique in your ion exchange practical. First of all, you need to collect a plastic column from the bench in the lab, and this column is what we will use to put our ion exchange resin in to form our ion exchange matrix. You'll notice that many of the columns in the lab have a mark at the 6mm mark, and this is the height that we would aim to pour our column to. You also need to collect a small tap. This tap will fit on the end of your column. When the little tap is upright, the tap is open, and when it's like that, it is closed. There will also be a small cap on the end of your tap. You need to remove that and put it to the side, but we try to keep them, so if you can put it somewhere safe. You need to secure your column into your retort stand, making sure that the 6mm mark there is clearly visible, so that we can easily see where our column's up to. A conical flask can act as your waste vessel, and you just need to place that underneath your tap. So the first thing to do is to pipette approximately 1 ml of equilibration buffer into your column. This equilibration buffer is methylpiperazine and Bistris propane, which is the buffer that you will be using for the first step in your ion exchange. So carefully drawing up 1 ml and pipetting that into the column. Make sure your tap is closed at this point, and your ml of solution should be sitting in the bottom there. Next, you need to get your column matrix. Now this is called DEAE cellulose, which is what we'll be using today. It's an ion exchange, an anion exchange resin. Now you can see that the material is sitting in solution, and this has already been equilibrated for you in the equilibration buffer. You need to give it a shake to get the slurry all evenly mixed. Get your pipette, and it's very viscous, so you need to be a bit patient there. And just carefully pipette that. You might need 2. Leave that there for now. Now we need to open our tap to let the solution start to run through. Now the important thing with any ion exchange resin is to not let it run dry. So add a couple more mils of your equilibration buffer. And as you can see, we have the buffer dripping through into the waste vessel. Now what we're aiming for is a column which is approximately 6 centimetres in height. And I can see there that we're probably going to have to add some more of the DEAE cellulose buffer resin. Now often in chromatography we use 2 terms interchangeably, 1 term interchangeably. We often call this plastic vessel the column, and we also call the matrix within the plastic column the column. Now this matrix can also be known as the stationary phase, and it is known as the stationary phase because it doesn't move. We place it into the plastic column and it stays there. Now you can hopefully see there that the resin there has settled at about 4.5 centimetres. So we will need to add some more resin. And you can keep adding resin until you get your column to the right height. Now do this carefully by running the matrix down the side of the tube so you don't disturb the resin that you've already got in there. We need a little drop more. Now at this point we need to add some more equilibration buffer, because as I said, you want to make sure it doesn't run dry. And again, run that down the side of the tube. Now what we're aiming for is for the stationary phase to have a nice flat top, and this is the point at which we can get rid of any bumps or undulations, and you can do that by just using a pasta pipette. And adding more equilibration buffer. The amount of equilibration buffer that you run through your resin doesn't really matter at this stage, and in fact the more the better. It's looking quite good. So when you're happy with your column and you can see that there's no bubbles or lumps or bumps, all you need to do is turn off your tap, and then your column is ready to begin your experiment.